Police in Argentina are on high alert, searching vehicles and setting up roadblocks. They are acting on a tip that the world's most wanted drug lord, Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán, is in their country. Argentine Security Secretary Sergio Berni said his office has information that El Chapo might be somewhere along the southern border with Chile. If true, this would mean that Guzmán managed to incredibly escape hundreds of Marines, including special forces that recently had him surrounded in the Mexican state of Sinaloa. In Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires, thousands of supporters of the country's gay community marched through the streets. They rallied to celebrate the 24th annual Pride Parade on November 7th. The LGBT march took place in 1992 with only 300 people. Last year's march had close to 200,000 participants. Argentina is a leader on gay, lesbian and transsexual rights in Latin America, becoming the first country in the region to allow same-sex civil unions in 2002 and the first country in Latin America to legalize same-sex marriage in 2010. Organizers called on the presidential candidates to tell them they will defend their rights.
This march is a very important reminder to the two candidates who will be voted on the 22nd of November that would like to lead the country, to clearly say to them that we are holding high the flag of diversity, that we are going to be in the streets, mobilizing to defend everything that we have achieved,
workers
and we are going to
search among
mobilize to
debris
achieve
and
what
under
we
massive
still want.
layers of mud for at least 28 persons, including children, whom are still missing. 2 dams burst on Thursday, drowning a town of 600 residents under a massive sea of mud. 500 people were rescued, but hopes it's fading for the 28 people still missing. Only 2 people have been confirmed dead so far, but officials warned the death toll in the small mining community of Bento could still rise.
We are resuming searches in all areas that are likely to have victims. In Bento, the worst hit town, we are also stepping up searches. We have updated now the number of missing people. They are the 13 employees who worked for Samarco Mining and also 15 people who were listed by their relatives.
Last October, the United States announced an investigation on the Honduran Rosenthal family for alleged money laundering. 3 days after the announcement and without any formal sentence, the National Bank and Insurance Commission of Honduras ordered the closure of the Continental Bank, property of the Rosenthals, and many others of their companies. Many assure that the procedure was incorrect, and the National Congress has asked for a special report.
The report has already been presented. We don't have to approve it. It is just a chronology of the events that happened with the Continental Group. I think it was a good report. I think that the National Bank and Insurance Commission, as well as the General Prosecutor and other institutions, have learned, and we hope that this won't happen again.
In the last 2 years, 22 persons have been captured for direct participation on drug trafficking and money laundering. In none of the other cases has the Honduran state acted so fast on taking control on the property of the accused. For lawmaker Doris Gutierrez, who was a part of the commission of the special report, many of the irregularities found weren't presented.
They acted with complete negligence. They even violated some articles of the law of bank and insurance. They didn't do preventative measures, and they continue acting incorrectly. The person in charge of the closure claimed that there were 500 million lempiras, $25 million, taken out of the bank right before the closure, while the bank was showed that instead there were $25 million deposited. So you can see that there's a big disorder, that not even the person in charge knows if the money was taken out or deposited, and this is why there is no confidence in them or in the people they named.
The Rosenthal family is the richest in Honduras and one of the main leaders of the political opposition. 2 of its members are currently on trial in the United States, and at the same time they are preparing an international lawsuit against the Honduran state for abuse of power. The closure of the Continental Group could also mean the dismissal of 11,000 workers all around Honduras. Gerardo Torres, teleSUR, Central America.
A team of explorers departed from Peru by raft on a 5,000-mile journey destined for Easter Island and Valparaiso, Chile. The 14-member Kon-Tiki 2 crew is made up of adventurers from 9 different countries, including Peru, Norway, New Zealand, England, Russia, and Chile. 7 crew members will be on board on each of the 2 rafts. The 4-month adventure will commemorate the original Kon-Tiki expedition that took place 68 years ago, when Norwegian ethnographer Thor Heyerdahl made headlines in 1947 after sailing from Peru to Raroya in French Polynesia. The difference now will be the type of energy they will use.
Well, we're very proud that this will be an experiment in using only renewable power for research. You know, we have solar power here, hopefully enough for the whole research program, which is quite extensive. We are going to be measuring the whole sort of ecosystem and physical system of the Southeastern Pacific Ocean, from the smallest algae to the largest animal life.
Polls in Myanmar's first credible elections in 25 years closed. Officials immediately began counting ballots in polling stations across the country. Preliminary results revealed that about 80% of the registered voters actually cast their ballot. The party of opposition leader Aung San Suu Kyi is expected to win a majority, but a legacy of military rule means she cannot become president after the election, even if her National League for Democracy wins a landslide. Despite many political changes, people remain skeptical of the government's intention to relinquish power completely and democratize the country. Final results are not expected until Tuesday.
I'm afraid that I'll lose the opportunity to change this country if I don't vote.
Croats began voting in a parliamentary election, which is their first since joining the European Union in 2013. Whoever wins faces a tough task, nurturing a fragile economic recovery and dealing with the large numbers of refugees transiting the country. Results are expected to be released at 10 p.m. local time. Surveys suggest the opposition HDZ-led Patriotic Coalition will win by a narrow margin. This means they will have to engage in coalition talks with smaller parties.
I feel fine, a happy man after these 4 years I have been serving our country, its economy, national security. We had quite a passionate campaign. Unfortunately, it has also been marked by the migrant crisis and the hate speech. HDZ and its helpers have been spreading throughout the country for years now.
Facts that have marked the course of history. Productions designed in the English language and made for the English-speaking world. This is Documentary. Watch it on telesur.net/English. teleSUR, wherever the news, you'll be there.